Hey there YouTube, good afternoon. I'm working on some snapper lawnmowers today. This particular one I'm working on right now is a year 2000 one. It has a 6 horsepower Briggs engine on it. And I found this in the trash last year. I did not make the time to work on it, and now I'm working on it today. And when I picked it up out of the trash, it started within 2 pulls, and the engine sounded pretty good. I just replaced the starter rope on the recoil assembly because the old one was ready to give out. It was so frayed and bad. And here's the old rope. It's pretty shot. And I was almost ready to pull the shroud off here to replace the recoil rope on the recoil assembly. And then I discovered a good thing. Briggs finally got it right after many years. Instead of riveting the recoil assembly onto the shroud, they used bolts, which made the whole process easier. So I just took a used rope off another shroud I had and put it on here. Works pretty good. This drive disc is pretty well shot. It's pretty well flattened out. I have a spare one lying around. This is a used one I pulled off another snapper lawnmower that I junked. It'll work. And yeah, I got to replace the fuel line on it too. It's pretty well cracked. But I'll do that once I take the carb covers off. This one I'm kind of unsure about. It's kind of a catastrophe. What happens is the carburetor leaks with this cover on, but once you take the cover off, it stops leaking. I was reading that some of these covers, they do warp, and hopefully if I change the cover, the carb will stop leaking if it's warped. And I got a spare cover here. Whole carburetor, just in case I need the whole carburetor and whole covers. Hey YouTube, I'm back. I just flipped this mower over to check the blade, and I got quite a surprise. I bet you this thing was cutting like shit. On the blade there was no cutting edge whatsoever. I made a cutting edge. I just got done making a cutting edge or edges on the blade. And I think it will cut now properly. Look at all this. This is what I scraped out of the deck with a screwdriver. The drive belt is a little cracked, but I'm not going to take that off because that drive disc that's on there, I remember I tried removing one of those before and I ended up stripping the bolt and I had to get a whole new disc, so I'm not going to even bother changing that belt out. It's a little cracked, but I think it will last a while yet. I can't believe how stupid and lazy people could be. If your mower's not cutting, check the damn blade to see if it has a cutting edge. Oh well, it's their loss. Hey there YouTube, great news. Below the deck I loosened up the bolt for this drive disc here, and it came loose surprisingly. I was a little bit worried because the last one that I tried removing stripped, but the bolt for this one came loose. And that's great because I could change out the belt. I got a spare belt lying around for it. A new one, a spare new one I could use. Yeah, I think this mower has a lot of hours on it. I just think so. There's a crack on below one of the wheels. Oh yeah, it's right here. There's a crack. But yeah. And before I change the belt, I'm just going to give it a mow around the yard, see how it works. And if it runs good, I'll put the belt on it. And that concludes this video. Bye.